Hey there everybody, Groovy here, coming at you from the Grindhouse, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about the 2020 film, The Night House. Now this film is directed by David Bruckner, who also directed The Ritual on Netflix, and one of the segments in Southbound, which is a horror anthology film that I actually do enjoy. Go check out both of those. But today we're talking about The Night House, which stars Rebecca Hall as Beth. Beth is a young woman whose husband has recently committed suicide with a gun that she didn't even know that he owned. He took the gun, went out into a rowboat at their lake house where they lived, went to the middle of the lake and just blasted off, if you know what I mean. Regardless to say, she's very upset and emotionally fragile, and then as she starts to dig into the wreckage of his life, maybe not so much the wreckage of his life, but the pieces of his life that he's left behind, she starts to realize that there were some interesting things that were maybe going on with her husband that she wasn't aware of. Things like finding pictures of other women that kind of look like her, but also aren't her. So she starts to think that maybe there was something going on. And then the deeper that she digs into this, the more kind of interesting and kind of strange things kind of start to happen. And she goes on this journey to find out what was this big secret that her husband was carrying with him and trying to keep from her. And I thought this movie was fantastic. Now, on basic paper, this film seems like a pretty straightforward affair. This woman's husband died. She doesn't know why. She starts digging into his phone, finds pictures of other women, thinks that maybe there was something up. But then also you have this kind of supernatural aspect to it. Maybe she's breaking due to her emotional state and stuff like that, because she's clearly still dealing with the death of her husband. It's still very raw, and it comes across in Rebecca Hall's performance. Or is there something sinister at foot? Maybe there was something more to what's going on, especially as Beth starts to have nightmares and starts to see this vision of this other house across the lake. At one point, she gets into a rowboat and goes across the lake to investigate these lights, and she finds that there's a duplicate of their house on the other side of the lake, but with just everything that's reversed for some reason. And as she starts to dig in deeper, she starts to see that her husband was also kind of researching stuff from the occult about trapping and kind of confusing demonic entities. And it all just kind of plays off pretty straightforward, but just handled really well, in my personal opinion. I thought this movie was great. The beginning half of this film is a little bit on the slow side, but Rebecca Hall's performance, as I said, does keep you kind of glued in. She really sells what Beth is going through, like at all stages in this film. It was great. She did a fantastic job. But as she investigates and as she starts to dig in deeper and we start to get a little bit more into what's going on towards the second half of the film, that's when this movie really gets interesting. And then one of the other aspects of this film that it gets into, and I'm going to get into spoilers here. I know this movie came out a year or two ago, so I'm just going to get into it. Spoiler warning, stop watching. All right, now that we got that spoiler warning out of the way, I liked this movie because it actually leaned into the supernatural bit instead of being like, oh, it was just a psychological element the whole time. A lot of movies bring up a cool supernatural angle, but it turns out that this person's just crazy. And then it ends up being just this big fake out, and I just hate that. No, not this movie. So what happens in this movie is that a couple years ago, before the events of the film, Beth died in a car accident. And when she died in that car accident, she saw the other side and saw that there was nothing there, just black, just nothing after us, that there was nothing. And when they brought her back, that maybe this thing, this nothingness that she glimpsed was following her for the rest of her life. Even so far as to when she married her husband, this evil entity started to whisper into his ear so that Owen would kill Beth so that Beth could be with the evil entity again. And there were some really cool visual elements of this nothing. It's not like the nothing from the Never Ending Story. It's like a living gestalt and it's moving. I thought it looked so cool on a visual sense. I wish there was a little bit more of it in the movie, but it's one of those things that when I saw it and then I watched it again, I was keeping my eyes peeled for, oh, maybe there's something over there. Oh, maybe there's something over there. Because when they finally show their hand and you finally see what the thing was and how it kind of manifests itself, aside from just being this kind of invisible force, I thought that was handled really, really well. I thought it looked fantastic. It was something that I'd never really seen before, and it definitely impressed me. So I would say with a cool visual element, a story that actually delivers a strong emotional core, and good acting, and well shot all throughout, I would say that definitely this is a movie to watch at least once. I thought it was great. I thought at first that it was just going to be a kind of one and done. Oh, he was just a crazy guy and he built this house on the other side so that he could go and murder women there. But no. It totally kind of had this whole other supernatural element to it, which I thought was kind of handled really well. I did really enjoy this movie, and I was going in expecting to just maybe kind of like it a little bit. So I decided, hey, I'll tell my people on the channel about it. We'll make a quick video. I'll let them know what my thoughts are, as I always do. And now we're done. So until next time, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, everybody. Stay scared, stay classy, but no matter what you do, make sure you stay groovy, everybody. Bye. We outie.